So, the talks have collapsed again between the United States and colonizing Carney for Canada. Now, part of the problem is that for decades, Canada has been doing short-term investments, which results in them demanding higher immigration numbers to keep the gross domestic product up, because the people here aren't having as many babies and things like that. And this is called a controlled decline by government. This is how they squeeze the middle class out of existence. This is why when I grew up as a teenager, I had every confidence that by the time I was 40, I would be in a house. I'm not in a house. None of my friends are in houses. Practically no one from my generation is in a house. Their parents may still have houses, and who gets condos these days, which is mostly what is being built, not houses, and certainly not rental properties, which is actually what is needed. No, instead we've got these condos being bought by the parents of people who are probably still in India or in China or Hong Kong, and their kids are living in the condo. However, you got to take a look at some of the shit the United States suddenly demanded at the last minute from Canada. Okay, I'm just going to let you stop and pay attention to some of these. Let's see. Wow, they want veto over infrastructure. They want preemptive trade restrictions basically they want to tell Canada who they can trade with. Jurisdictional preemption on critical minerals. The United States wants first dibs on any critical minerals Canada has, even though they've found at least 2 major deposits within their own countryside. That doesn't matter. And they want a capped price, which is better than anybody else gets. They want the Digital Tax on Online News Act rescinded. They're tired of having to deal with French. They don't like French. The elimination of the Buy Canada procurement. In other words, Canada, you're not allowed to buy your own stuff and build up your own country, which, as I started to point out, for over 50 years, Canada has been doing short-term investments, which basically fucks over everybody who's actually currently living in the country. Now we have Carney, who sucks for people who are currently living in the country, but the people who are going to be in here 10 or 15 years from now, they'll do well, because he insists on long-term investments, which is better for the country in total for growth. But it doesn't help all of us right now who are bordering on starving. And this sort of shit is just typical of the blooded felon, which is anything that's good for me happens, anything that's good for you, no, you can't have it. Which is why Canada basically walked away. What lessons should we take from this? Should other countries take from what they've seen happening to Canada, well, who is supposed to have been the United States' most solid, dependable, and closest, both physically as well as structurally, ally? It says that there is no point in negotiating with the United States. That's the conclusion of this. All the other countries are watching who is supposed to be their best, the United States' little best friend, their little brother up north, and they're treating us like shit. So, what do you think the chances are? Especially when we've got a bloated felon who claims that the deal that's between Canada, the United States, and Mexico is horrible. It should never have been done. And you want to check and see who made the deal? Few things more accurate. Yes, the country was being led by a very stupid person a year ago, and it's still being led by a very stupid person. Of course, I don't see a whole lot of people in politics right now who don't qualify for that description.